Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik from Figure It Out Productions. The following video is a video of some kind, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, it's Adam here, and today we're going to be talking about our friend, the original Xbox, and specifically a brand new controller for it by retro fighters called the Hunter. Now before we do that though, if you guys could do me a favor, please like this video, comment down below, subscribe if you've never done that before, as well as check out all my social media stuff in the description. I've got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, Spreadshirt, Travel Channel, all that stuff. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and get talking. So yes, this is the Hunter by Retro Fighters, and full disclosure on this was sent to me for free for the purposes of review by Retro Fighters themselves, and so if you like it or any of the other controllers they sell, there will be a link in the description for you guys to check it out. There are two different versions. There is what you can think of as the black version to match the original console, though technically that's just an extremely dark shade of green, and then there is a lighter transparent green one. This one is meant to match the color of the Halo themed edition Xbox, and as far as I know, these are the only two different colors they made, because those are the only two models North America got in a wide release. Well, when I say North America, I actually mean the US, because Canada got a whole bunch that we didn't get. So there are other colors of the Xbox, but as of now, they don't make controllers to match them. We'll see if it's successful, and maybe that will happen. But regardless, I'm pretty sure the motivation behind those two controller colors. Now, if you're not familiar with Retro Fighters, they're a company that makes a bunch of, let's say, more modern-day controllers for retro consoles. I've done videos on a bunch of them over the years. Basically, the idea is that over time, our hands have gotten kind of used to the more modern-day interpretation of a controller, where it's more ergonomic design. And so when you go back to using something like, say, the NES, it can be a little, say, tough to use the D-pad and the original rectangular controller, or at least it can be for some people. So they basically decided, what if we take modern, concepts and make them for retro consoles, and they've done this for a ton of them. The original Xbox one is kind of an interesting case, because I would argue the original Xbox controller is still relatively a modern controller in the sense of its shape, so they're not really addressing that problem. What they're kind of addressing is two other potential issues. One that's just obvious due to the simple amount of time that has gone by, but basically if you want a new controller for the original Xbox, unless you find a totally unused OEM controller, these are the newest controllers that are actually in production, thus they are unused, they're brand new. Fair enough. But the other point of it, the whole really advantage to it, is that the controller is wireless, which is obviously the big selling point. So let's talk all about this controller. Now when you first get it, or at least when I first got it, I unboxed it for myself just to kind of, make sure I knew what everything was that was inside of it. Opens up relatively easily, as one would expect. And then inside you have several things, like it comes with a USB-C cable. The purpose of the cable is to charge the controller, which, by the way, I highly recommend you do in advance. You just let it charge for a while before actually using it. You'll know that it's charging because when you plug it into something that's USB-based, it will charge the controller. The controller's lights will kind of blink for a bit, and then eventually it will stop. When it stops, that means the controller's charged. That's just better for the long-term purposes of the battery. It also comes with a USB dongle. This USB dongle is actually for bonus features. The controller is actually not just compatible with the original Xbox, it also works on a PC as well as the Nintendo Switch. In order to sync the controller to those platforms, you need this dongle. The additional purpose of this dongle, by the way, would be if they ever do a firmware update for the controller, you would actually update this and then fire it up, and then it will update the controller. So there you go. And obviously it comes with the Xbox dongle itself, which for our purposes is the one that matters. This also has an additional USB port on it, though I'm not going to lie, I'm not totally sure what that is for, unless that you have to update this as well. But you would want to plug that into controller port 1. It obviously also comes with a simple instruction manual that really just has basics on like how much charging time it requires, how long it functions. For example, it takes 2.5 hours to charge it from, I'm assuming, all the way dead to full charge, because when I charged it only took about a half hour, but that's because it had power out of the box. It has 10 hours of gameplay life support, so once it's fully charged, that's how long it should last. LED indicators to indicate which controller it's paired to, so it can be from 1 to 4, obviously, because the original Xbox supported 4. And then just a few other little points about it, but nothing, there's not really much to this. In fact, when you turn it on, it immediately syncs to the controller. It's obviously prepared. There's a button on the front of it with like 3 little dots or 3 little lines. Basically, they recommend pressing that to sync it to the controller, but I kind of found that like really any button does the same thing. So let me read some of the features of the controller on the back here. They say it's 2.4 gigahertz wireless technology, so not Bluetooth. It's compatible with the original Xbox, Switch, and PC, as we said before. Has pressure-sensitive buttons, the Hall effect analog sticks and triggers, aka no drift, white and black shoulder grip buttons, which the white and black buttons on the original Xbox they're pretty much in the same location as they were before. A lot of other controllers try to map them up to the the triggers, but which I guess they also did, so you kind of have the option either way. Premium textured grip, that is true, it is very nice. USB-C charging, accurate D-pad, and wireless rumble. So it does support the rumble features. Now, I ended up playing quite a few games with this for quite some time, and I don't know, maybe it's because I've played with a lot of Retro Fighters controllers, so I've kind of gotten used to the basic feel of it, but it did not really take me any sort of mental adjust time to get used to this controller. It kind of just feels almost like you're playing the original Xbox with an Xbox One controller, almost, but it feels a little bit more organic than trying to, essentially remap it, probably mostly because of the white and black buttons being where they're supposed to be, as opposed to just having like a bonus feature of being in the triggers. It should be mentioned and worth noting that obviously because of the design change, they actually opted not to use the memory card slots. Now the memory card slots on the original Xbox were not technically used for much, as you really didn't need the memory cards. There were a few accessories that use this, and obviously the Retro Fighter controller lacks those ports, so anything that would use it cannot, but it's not that big of a deal, to be completely honest. But yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty sharp and solid controller. And like I said, it addresses a nice use case because the original Xbox, even back in the day, there was demand for a wireless controller. I mean, not initially, because that wasn't really an expectation, because wireless controllers for the longest time were just kind of like a gimmick, like the RF ones that didn't really work very well, or infrared ones, etc. It wasn't until Nintendo released the Wavebird for the GameCube that everybody was like, where are wireless controllers? Where are they for the original Xbox? Where are they for the PlayStation 2? And we never really got them. Like there was, I believe it was Logitech actually made some controllers for those. The people actually say those are pretty decent for the original Xbox. They're just kind of dated and hard to find. They also use AA batteries. With this using lithium ion, you can just recharge it, which is very nice. So solid controller. But let me just go ahead and fire it up here real quick and show you. So I've got my modded Xbox here. Obviously the dongle is connected there, and it should all fire up on here provided the monitor doesn't give me any problems. But I press the button, it immediately synced, no issues whatsoever. And yeah, there you go. So you can see it just pops right into my modded original Xbox. And I'm just going to click around just so you guys can see this. But like I said, I played this with a bunch of games, and I think it was a pretty solid experience. Honestly, I don't really have any complaints about it. I mean, it advertises itself fundamentally as a wireless. Yeah, so you can see it works just fine. No problems whatsoever. I don't know, we'll try and launch something. Let's see. I'll go to a game. We'll go to, we'll just open this. I can't really, these are a bunch of Japanese games. We'll open Damon Vector. Damon Vector is the one game that, people blame YouTubers for making games skyrocket. This is the one game I'm definitely responsible for, because nobody was really sure this game existed on the original Xbox till I found a copy of it. Sorry, my bad. This game only came out in, I think, Taiwan. Very hard game to find. But yeah, there you go. I'm assuming that's Mandarin, but honestly, I'm not totally sure. Yeah, anyway, that's not really the point. Point is, you can see it works just fine. Not a very good game, by the way. But yeah, the controller, yeah, it works perfectly fine. I'm just going to turn it off for lighting purposes. But yeah, no, it's definitely a solid controller experience. And it's really nice to have two of them, actually. So yeah, like I said, really the upgrade case, if you're using the original controller, would really be A, if you just want a new controller, and B, if you want to enjoy the benefits of it being wireless. Because beyond that, there's really not much else to say about it. It worked perfectly fine for, me. I'm sure that I don't think there's a whole lot of competitive gaming on the original Xbox anymore. Not like, say, GameCube, where people are very purist about those controllers. So I don't know if this would be, something a more purist controller fan would have an issue with, but in general, is just like somebody who just wants to play the games. I think it's a good option. So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's really anything else to tell you. Like I said, it is compatible with the Switch and the PC, but those are really just bonus features, nothing you have to take too seriously. And I would really approach it more as just, hey, this is a nice wireless option for the original Xbox. Build quality seems totally fine. It's if you've had other Retro Fighters controllers, this is pretty much, what to expect. I guess my ultimate summation of it is it feels like somebody kind of redesigned the Xbox One controller for the original Xbox. That's really kind of how it feels to me, and I think that's a good thing. So, or maybe the Xbox Series X controller for the original Xbox would be a better way to put it. But yeah, so there you go. If you guys are interested in it, as I said, there will be a link in the description to Retro Fighters. You can go ahead and pick it up there if you like. As always, my social media stuff down there as well: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, Spreadshirt, my travel channel. And if you guys could do me a favor, like the video, subscribe if you haven't done it before, and of course leave me a comment. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all later.